All right, guys, welcome to the channel. Got some big news for you guys. If you haven't heard already, Leatherface is getting a makeover. Hillbilly getting a makeover. Both are going to be getting changes made to them that are going to be great for the community, great for this game. I've been wanting the changes for Hillbilly for quite some time. I'm so excited that they are doing this. You know, the one killer that I wanted to have changes to, basically nerfed, is finally happening. This is probably the first time I've called for a killer to be nerfed, and I can't remember the last time I called for it, but I've been wanting these changes done for a very long time. And the cool thing is, I don't want to say they took my idea, but I'm sure a lot of people had the same thought process about what they should do with them. And my main concern was, you know, him as in pronouns, pal, Hillbilly, being able to traverse, and, you know, his mobility factor has always been a problem. He's got more mobility than any killer in the game, which makes him the biggest threat. Also, the one-shot ability obviously helps too. But my biggest complaint was his mobility factor. He can move from one side of the map to the next without any repercussions. No concern, brain dead killer in a lot of ways. Now, it does take skill to one-shot people sometimes, depending on how their movements are. Let's get to the patch notes. Here we go. I got them pulled up. These are the patch notes for the upcoming, I believe, the public test build. I don't know if these are going straight into live action or if they're going into the PTB first to be tested. I want to say they could be live. Okay, first off, we'll go over with the cannibal. Now, these changes I was not expecting. Neither were probably a lot of other people in the community, which this is a pleasant surprise. I'm very happy to hear about this and read about it. Let's get into it. Base kit changes. First, Cannibal's chainsaw now activates like the Hillbillies. Rather than needing to be fully charged and then release, the small changes prevents instances where he releases the button a silver too early and cancels the chainsaw accidentally. You don't want to hold it for too long, though, or else Leatherface will go into a tantrum. Okay, so before, you know, you had to charge it up all the way. Now it seems like, and if you didn't get it fully charged, you know, like if you want to break a pallet or something, or if you want to chainsaw somebody, you would have to charge it up all the way, and you're looking at the survivor but not the bar at the same time, and then you would accidentally cancel it. That was a big deal. So it seems like it's going to be like Hillbillies, where you don't want to charge it fully now. That, you know, if you want to charge it halfway, you can. But at the same time, probably what it sounds like to me, and it might say it in here in a second, but you probably have to charge it. The longer you charge it, the further out you go. But if you do too much and charge it full bar, then that is when he'll go into a tantrum like you hit an object, which is something you don't want. He now has 3 charges by default. When starting your chainsaw sweep, one of these charges will be consumed. Pressing the power button again while the sweep is active will refresh it and consume another charge, allowing you to continue using your chainsaw for another 2 seconds. You'll want to hit the assets to assess the situation carefully, though. Each charge you use will also extend the tantrum and missed attack cooldown, so using more charges can backfire if you're not able to follow through. Charges refill automatically at the rate of 1 every few seconds. It's kind of like most killers now, they all have a power, whereas before you could just use the power as much as you wanted to. Hillbilly and Leatherface were the same in the sense that you could use them as much as you want to. Now there's going to be a cooldown on their power, which I'm totally okay with. Especially for Hillbilly, because we'll get to that in a second, because then he won't be able to just go left, you know, all the way across the map, you know, every few seconds if he chooses to. Killers are gonna have to think about their strategies and techniques going forward when moving with the power of Hillbilly, and whether or not you want to use the chainsaw or are able to use the chainsaw with Hillbilly or Leatherface. So they both got charges now. All right. Additionally, Leatherface's maximum movement speed while using his power has been increased from 5.06 milliseconds to 5.29 milliseconds. This, in conjunction with the other changes mentioned above, will make the cannibal feel much better to play as and much more threatening to play against. Wow, they're going to make him have charges, but now he's going to be able to move faster and have control, more control over his chainsaw, which is such just a breath of fresh air. I'm loving it, because to me, I mean, yes, he wasn't the best killer. He was probably mid B tier, you know, right in the middle of the pack of the killers. I'm not saying it's going to take more skill to play with him, probably not as much, but I'm just saying he's going to be able to do more things and be able to be what's the word I'm looking for? More versatile. That's really it. It's going to be more versatile, and that is a big deal. And then a good player or good killer will be able to assess the situation and make different plays happen at different moments during the game, which you could not do before. All right, here's a preview of the action. Wow, that sucker's going forever. Holy crap. Okay, he's got 3 charges there. And that's, the bar's not in the middle anymore. It's in the little box like everybody else's, like Spirit, Legion, so on and so forth. Okay, so hold on here. Okay, he starts off with 3 if it's fully charged. That's charging it up. Notice, as soon as he lets go, it goes this. It then starts. I wonder if you can cancel that by pressing a button though. So if you want to save a charge or two, can you press a button to stop it? And right here, I think it's just replaying it over and over again. Okay, these are the add-on changes that they're talking about here. These is what I've already kind of knew a little bit more about, and let's get into those. We've done a pass on the Cannibals add-ons, with nearly all of them receiving some sort of change. These changes will modernize his add-ons and bring them in the line with the standards of the For Killers add-ons, which are 4 common, 5 uncommon, 5 rare, 4 very rare, 2 ultra rare. So I think they make it to where all killers have a variety of different add-ons. They want to make them, you know, you want to have as a player, you want to have a choice of what kind of builds you want to run. So that's pretty cool. I didn't even think about that. There's far too many add-ons to list them on here, but here are a few for example. Shop Lubricant. Downing a survivor with the chainsaw while no other survivors are in your terror radius will hide the survivor's aura for 20 seconds. Now, it took me a second to think about this because it sounds a lot like Knockout. But now it's in a form of a add-on, which is weird because it's his teachable, you know, so that is kind of odd. But not saying that it can't be used. That means if you use this add-on, that means, guess what? You don't have to use a perk slot per se. So that's another perk you can use for something else. There's only 1 or 2 add-ons I even like using for Leatherface. Maybe this will change that. Death Gauge Rake. This is a very rare one. Okay, increases the number of charges probably to 4. Slightly increased charge time. So it kind of goes back to what was it, the grease or something? It made your acceleration faster, but also the duration of the charge took longer as well. Slightly decreased the chainsaw sweeping maximum speed. That's going back and forth, I'm pretty sure. Did he have an iridescent before? I don't know. Hitting a survivor with the chainsaw replenishes its charges. Holy shit, that's crazy. What that means is if he hits one person, did you see how long that video was before with all the charges? It already was really long. Like, it's going to be just mowing people down. Ying, ying, ying. Like, you're just going to be hearing his chainsaw going the entire game. He'll never stop. So he hits one, you know, at the end of the charge, he'll get 3 more or 4 more if he's got this add-on, I guess. So you'll just hear, as you hear fireworks going off in the background. So that's really awesome. I mean, potentially annoying, but really awesome. Okay, we're looking forward to seeing what you guys do, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is what I'm excited for. I'm personally excited about this one. Okay, so Franklin's Demise. Okay, they did all Leatherface's perks, so they might have made changes to Knockout too, but we'll get to that. Franklin's demise. Your vicious attacks make the survivors drop them on impact. The lost item will be consumed by the entity after 120 seconds to 90 seconds if it's not picked up before the timer runs out. Now, I don't know if the survivors will get that timer or not. Kind of like a perk. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Reveal the aura of the item on the ground for 32 meters. Okay, that doesn't change whether it's tier 1 or 3. The meters, 32 meters in the white aura. The aura of the items fade to red until they are consumed by the entity. So no timer. You will not get as a killer, you will not get a timer. You judge by how long you have, by the color of the item on the ground. That's great. I still don't know if the survivor gets a timer. They might. Knock out. Survivors putting in the dying state by a basic attack are not revealed to other survivors when they are standing outside of 32 to 16 meter range. That doesn't change, does it? So what's changed? Let's see. Survivors put into the dying state by your basic attacks crawl 50% slower for 15 seconds. And I like that. I like that. Tenacity counter, it sounds like. During this time, survivors are affected by the blindness status effect. Holy shit, that's good. Holy crap. That's amazing. That's really good. I'm telling you guys, I'm liking this. And I can see myself using Franklin's because you know how the changes are now with the survivors. If they escape, they get to keep their item but not the add-on unless they have ace in the hole. So people have these purple and med kits and flashlights and toolboxes all the time. They don't lose them anymore unless they die. So that's going to be really helpful. Okay, now we're down to the Hillbilly update. Keeping with the same theme, or keeping with the theme of everything, chainsaws and Hillbilly are receiving some changes in this update. For the most part, we are happy with the way the Hillbilly performs. His power is very versatile, allowing him to quickly traverse the map, zone out survivors, instantly down them. From a survivor's perspective, there are also a reasonable amount of counterplay leading to the interesting chases where the best players often come out on top. Yes, best players, not bad players. You normally have to be pretty good to beat a good Billy. That's a fact. Base kit changes. Given that we're already happy with him and his performance, the changes to the base kit are minimal. We're not removing any options you have with this chainsaw, traversal, feathering, curving. I'm actually okay with that. Instead, we want to focus on skill-based gameplay, put on emphasis using your chainsaw effectively, only adding a small drawback to misusing the chainsaw. Ooh, okay. The Hillbilly's chainsaw will now feature a new overheat mechanic. Yes, revving the chainsaw will now cause it to accumulate heat, which can be seen by both in the lower left-hand corner around the power icon on the chainsaw itself, very similar to that of Leatherface and other killers' powers. Sprinting with the chainsaw will also cause it to heat up at a lower rate, much lower. This heat will dissipate over time whenever the chainsaw is not being used. If the overheat meter fills up completely, you can no longer be used until it has completely cooled down. When this happens, it will cool down at an increased rate. If the chainsaw overheats while you're sprinting, you will not be interrupted. Didn't know if they would do that. That was going to be my next question. The goal here is behind this change is to add a small drawback to misusing the chainsaw and add a bit more depth to the chainsaw with resource management. That was my thing. Resource management. You just can't be brain dead chainsawing back and forth the entire game and have no repercussions. Let's take a look. This is the Hillbilly new changes in action. Let's take a look. Is chainsaw smoking? That never happened before, did it? Okay, so see how that thing's charging up pretty fast. I think that's faster than Leatherface. And before you release it, if it goes all the way up, then you don't get the sprint. However, I'm willing to bet if you 99% that and then take off, you get to go the full length of the sprint as long as you don't get stopped by an object, I think. That's something I would test out. Dad's boots. This is the brown one. Moderately increases the steering. Okay. Pig house gloves. Moderately decrease the heat gain when starting. Yeah, because with new power, they need to change up the add-ons already, you know, because there's new things, new variables in the equation of the game now, so that makes sense. Low pro chains. Continue a chainsaw sprint after breaking a pallet. What? Survivors hit with the chainsaw are damaged for one single hit. Oh my god, that is filthy. You dirty girl, you. What? Oh man. Do you realize how good that's going to be? Especially with, say, I don't know, Spirit Fury or a yeah, that's crazy. I am really eager to try that out. You know what I'm saying? So they also did some changes to not just Leatherface's and Hillbilly's add-ons and power abilities, but their perks as well. I've always said this: Tinkerer needed buffed. I'm interested to see what if they buffed it or changed it. So Lightborn. Unlike other beasts of the fog, you have adapted to light. You are immune to blindness caused by flashlights and firecrackers. Survivors that attempt blinding you have their aura revealed for 6 to 10 seconds. Okay. Listen, guys. I've said this before on stream. I'll say it again. All perks are not made equally. What that means is, obviously, like perks like Lightborn and a few others, Deja Vu for Survivor, it doesn't matter what they do, the devs, due to the perk, they're just not going to be used. Some of them will just not be used. There's just other perks out there that are more viable and more useful to your build and just in general better. Okay, so it doesn't matter what they do to this perk still won't get used. Tinkerer, what they do with this one: when the generator is repaired to 70%, oh my god, I already know what they're going to do here. So they're keeping it the same. 70%, that's what I was looking for. Before it was 85%. This is a perk I will use. Yes, me. It triggers a loud noise notification. You're granted the undetectable status for 12 to 16 seconds. Yes, thank you very much, devs. Before, 85 seconds or 85% just wasn't long enough. By the time you got the notification, and even if you were close to it, guys, by the time you got the notification, ran over there, even with it, if it was Hillbilly and chainsaw sprinted over there, the gen would get done. You Tinkerer would have no use, not really, because by the time you get there, gen popped, and then they see you. So what really advantage did you gain? The only thing you gained was you got to chase a survivor down, but it really wasn't good. So now you can actually prevent it. Maybe kick that generator and then start chasing them, and then if it's like at 75% and it goes back down to 70% and somebody else starts working on it, you'll get that notification again, and so on and so forth. So this is a great perk, guys. Phenomenal. If this wasn't enough, but wait, there's more. Server improvements. Oh my, what do we got here? I'm sure everybody in the community has been wanting this. Currently, hits are handled on the killer's end. If they appear to be within the range of the survivor, they will be able to be hit. You'll be able to hit them. In most cases, this works well. The killer is able to reliably hit survivors, and survivors see roughly the same thing on their end with a small amount of latency. If the killer has a weak connection to the server, however, it can cause some strange looking hits that appear to be out of range, most notably at the pallets and windows, where the hits normally are three times. There's only 3 places that people get mad for the hits. There's sometimes on the hooks and not, grabbing somebody off the generator or something. But the main 3 are pallets, jumping, vaulting windows, pallets, or throwing them down. And the third one is using dead hard. Those are the main 3. There's also a few other ones, like I named, with the hooks, getting somebody off the generator, grabbing them versus not grabbing them. It's annoying. That's something I hope they address as well. During this upcoming PTB, we'll be testing server-side hit validation. Anytime the killer hits a survivor, the server will check to see if the hit was possible within a reasonable margin. If the survivor was too far to be hit, the hit is negated. Okay. Put simply, if you have a stable connection, you won't notice any difference as the killer. Your hits will still appear instantaneously and should not be rejected. As a survivor, however, a killer with a weak connection should no longer be able to hit you from further away due to your high latency. Second, we'll be increasing the tick rate of our servers from 30 Hz to 60 Hz. Outstanding, yes. Basically, this means it's going to refresh faster. If you know anything about Hertz, that means refresh rate. Sends out the information twice as fast. Outstanding. So that right there is a win. Okay, guys, that second part's a win. The first one, we'll see what happens. But to me, people like me who have a good connection most of the time shouldn't notice anything. And if anything, it's gonna penalize people who's got a bad connection is what it's going to do. Get better internet, scrubs. Get out of that McDonald's parking lot. You noob. Promo code system. Oh, wow. Last but not least, a new promo code system will appear in the in-game store. This is exactly as it sounds like, allowing users to redeem a promo code for more goodies on the platform, on any platform. Starting with the mid-chapter update, you notice a redeem code button in the feature on the store. Clicking this button will bring up a menu where you can enter your promo code to unlock a reward. This reward can be anything from clothing to blood points to even auric cells. Cool. And the PTB will open up on Tuesday, July 7th. That is 3 days away. Wow. Outstanding, guys. That's awesome. 2 thumbs up. Really, this is probably top 2, top 3 ever. If they keep all the changes and they work properly like they're supposed to. Okay? Excellent. Okay, guys. We are, let's see. First thoughts, I'll tell you this. My thoughts on Leatherface is a pleasant surprise, and everything that they add to the character is going to be a bonus and basically icing on the cake, because I felt like he was underrated, honestly, but he could have used a buff. He was like the clown, needed a push in the right direction, and this is going to hopefully give him that. So I'm really happy to see that he's getting the attention he deserves. And I'm really happy about even if they didn't do anything else, that they would have changed the fact that you don't have to charge your chainsaw all the way up. I didn't like that versus Hillbilly. It cancels it with Leatherface versus Hillbilly. He gets to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a little bit different. I didn't like how it canceled it. I didn't like the fact that, when you're behind somebody, either you're chasing them, whether you're breaking a pallet or you're about to chainsaw them, you had to fill your gauge up all the way. And you was looking at the survivor, and you don't know if you feel like the gauge is fully metered out and it's all the way full, but then you let go to start your chainsaw sweep and it cancels it. I hated that. So that's going to be changed. If they would have just changed that, I'd have been really happy with that. But they've also added more duration, which I think is also a longer charge as well. But I'm happy with the charges and the power change in his ability. So I think that is going to be an amazing addition to the game. All right, Hillbilly. I've been saying it for, honestly, 6 months at least, that his mobility needed to be nerfed somehow, and it is now. So that's great. Not as much of a brain dead killer. Will this change Hillbilly to the fact that he's not S tier? I think he was S tier. I think he'll still be A tier, maybe even A plus tier. All this means is he can't go back and forth all the time. Like, he can still have mobility. He still has mobility. Just he has to think more about what he's going to do next versus just, doing it without thinking. So, not as brain dead, but still a really great killer. Leatherface was a mid B. I think it's B, just a B, not even B plus, maybe B plus, maybe. But this could make him an A tier killer now. I really do think that. He's already a god when it comes to basement defense. If you get caught down in the basement with Leatherface, then you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in a world of pain. You and your teammates will be, and it could cost you the game. So, I'm really happy with that. And the teachables are, I'm really happy. I'm loving the fact that they changed Franklin's demise and knockout, or updated them and buffed them. I'm curious to test those out. Tinkerer, I can already tell you guys, with Tinkerer, Hillbilly's perk, I am definitely going to use it. Not test it, use it. It's going on immediately with some of my builds. I love that perk. I really do. So, anyways, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tell me if you agree with the changes. Would you like to see other changes, you know, or do you think they should have left them alone? Tell me what you guys think. I would love to hear what you guys think on that. I can't see anything else but this being a win for the community in the game. So I'm super stoked, and this is going to do a great service to everyone involved playing the game. If you guys like the video, hit the like and subscribe button. Again, tell me what you think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, take care.